I'm too high definition for my own liking, and it's kind of freaking me out. But that's okay.
That'll be my full attention now.
Hello and welcome to What Would We Know, a place where we unpack all the strange, fascinating and occasionally chaotic things happening on the internet, in marketing and across the creator economy. These are conversations that we usually end up having with each other anyway, so we figured why not invite a few more friends in. I'm Brooke and I've been in the TikTok creator space for probably a little bit too long at this point, and I have the screen time to prove it. I'm joined by my very good friend Georgia, who is a graphic designer, branding girly, and the person I usually send approximately 40 screenshots to every single week. Sometimes before 8 a.m, sometimes all at once, and always with a lot of thoughts attached. So Georgia, before we dive into this week, how was your week been? Tell us about your week.
My week has been great. As you know, I was away, so I feel very refreshed, and it's Easter. So long weekend again, which we love. So yeah, loving this week. What about you?
I'm overwhelmed. I've reached a state of overwhelm. I've got too much on my plate, and that is probably because I had no human communication last week because both you and my partner were away. So it meant that, sure, my house is incredibly clean right now, but unfortunately my mental health is in the bin, and that's okay. It's all about balance, and I know that in a little bit of time I'll be fine.
Well, I highly recommend a week off one because that's essentially what I did, and it was great.
I can't wait to be the only one with topics for this week.
Pretty much.
I've come to interrupt because Georgia forgot to mention something about her week because she doesn't like to talk about herself. And that's okay. She's a selfless queen. What you need to know is it was Georgia's birthday. And that was really exciting because she was in New Zealand. So my friend Jess and I conspired on what to get her for her birthday because she's a really difficult person to buy for because she has incredibly good taste. So you don't want to buy her a physical item because you're going to insult her because she would have bought something way more chic than whatever you think. And usually we would send her flowers because that's a kind thing to do, but she's overseas and it's not practical to send her flowers, and I knew she was flying home shortly afterwards. So we conspired to get her a cameo from one of her favourite cast, Chase from The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and we briefed him that she's a graphic designer. So we thought it's only fair that you have a little bit of a tidbit here and you get to listen to the cameo as well. And I'm sure we might post it on social media too because it's kind of iconic. Let's get into that.
What is up, Georgia? Chase here, and wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Coming up on the 28th. Sounds like you are currently in New Zealand on holiday. And you think that I fumbled the bag with Miranda? Facts. That is true. Graphic designer. What's my favorite font? I haven't thought about fonts in a while. Times New Roman. Classic. Tips for avoiding a DUI. Well, pretty simple. If you drink alcohol, Uber. And if you want to drive a car, don't drink alcohol. Pretty easy to avoid that stupid mistake that I made. So don't do that. Love you so much. Hope you have an amazing birthday. Aries, Queen. Love you. Mwah.
It's an internet thing.
You obviously know nothing about the internet.
Gossip. I hate gossip.
Tell me more.
Where on the internet?
In the Instagram internet.
So Georgia, tell me, what has the internet been doing? Do you even have anything for this segment this week?
Look, I don't have a lot. I feel like the whole Utah Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, divorces, shows getting cancelled is a little bit old news, but that is still being my algorithm because it's still happening. But I won't talk about that much this week. The other thing I saw was that Kylie Minogue is headlining the AFL Grand Final this year. So felt like that was random.
I do think it's random. Like, I'm happy that they finally have an Australian artist. I think it's like rare that they do. But I do think she is random.
Is she relevant anymore? Is she still bringing out music? I don't know.
No.
I have not really heard about her in a long, long time. I feel like that could be offensive to some people because I think she did have a concert somewhat recently. But I didn't think she was relevant. Yeah, I didn't know if she was relevant enough to like headline the AFL.
I do think it's a pick. I don't know the process for them picking an AFL headliner because I know for the US and the Super Bowl, it's Jay-Z and his team that picks. But I don't think we have like that sort of process. So I wonder if it's like a bit of a negotiation with the artist and who is actually available to get them. Because we've had like Katy Perry before.
Well, the AFL, I'm not really that into the sporting events of the world, but I feel like generally the AFL has better performers than the NRL, which is usually like the following day.
I'm totally not across the NRL, and I didn't even realize they did finals. I thought it was a bit of a sudden death who was at the top one. So happy for them.
Ooh. Oh. Very much.
I've
that's
just
not
invented
way
the
it works.
entire NRL community. Perfect. Can't wait for our first hate comment.
And Kylie Minogue's audience. Oops.
Oops, we are honestly, this is how my week's been going, so it's fine. It's fine.
That's all I have.
Well, I have two, so don't worry. Don't worry, I will carry the team this week. Number one, which is the most important, is have you seen Harry Styles on Brooklyn Bridge?
No.
Okay, so these girls are on a little hot girl walk. They're listening to the new Harry Styles album and they've got their headphones in. And guess who they walk past? Harry Styles. And what does he do?
Styles.
They whip their phone around and show him that they're listening. And he goes over, gives them a fist bump and a hug. And I think that's iconic.
Love that for them.
Yeah, so pretty happy with that. Also, Taylor Swift at the iHeart Music Awards, she got like 7 awards.
Yes. Yes,
and the
I
quote
did see
is,
this actually.
"This album probably feels very happy, confident, and free because that's the way I get to feel every day because of my fiance."
Very cute.
I think that's really wholesome.
Okay, group chat, ladies.
Good news or bad news?
I know Rena has her own receipt.
Are you out of your
Our
mind?
group chat gives us life.
Shall we open up the marketing group chat / just the internet group chat and see what we've sent each other in the world of marketing news this week?
I have a couple of things. The Alex Cooper's Unwell reality show. Have you seen it? The show, but who's supposed to be on it?
Yeah, I saw the lineup last night and I think that honestly, you should have probably removed a couple of people from that lineup before it got released. I don't think that that's kosher.
Very questionable cast.
Yep.
I actually don't think I would watch it. Like, I don't care to watch it. Like, I'll watch clips of what happens,
Yep.
but I don't think I would care to watch it. I think it's silly.
Yeah, I don't think it's for us, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll be for someone. I do think the casting is odd, and I don't know where Unwell as a network is going if they're going down the reality show like this. I totally understand that they might want to go down the Bravo pipeline, but I think what they had already in their lexicon of brands, it is not necessary. And they were doing so well that it's like focus on what you're doing really good rather than launching into a category you're not that familiar with.
Like, how did you go from the Hannah Montana reunion to having Demi and Dakota on a reality show in Utah for 4 days? I don't understand the pipeline.
I have a marketing news story that I know that you will deeply care about because if anyone doesn't know Georgia in real life, she is very passionate about her love for Canva.
Oh,
That is not sarcasm at all. She absolutely loves Canva. But they have acquired
that is highly sarcastic.
It is not true. Canva has acquired a digital advertising company called Dooley for $30 million, which makes it their third acquisition of 2026. And considering we have just entered our 4th month of the year, that's kind of insane. And if you're wondering what Dooley is, I had never heard of it, but it is a digital out-of-home advertising. So think billboards, screens in shopping centers, airport, public spaces. All of those things are considered out-of-home advertising. And Dooley is the software behind that. So what else have they purchased in the recent few months? Well, they purchased Calvary, which was a UK-based animation and motion design software. So think from basic animations like they have in Canva currently, it's more on that, giving After Effects if you've ever used Adobe. They also purchased Mango AI, which is a US AI startup focused on improving ad performance, which kind of feels like a bit of foreshadowing to what they actually bought with Dooley. So AI learns what content actually works and then it optimizes your ad creatives over time. And then last year they bought Magic Brief, which is marketing intelligence and ad insights platform. So it's competitor tracking, creative insights, and looking at what ads are working. So that kind of all ties in. And then if we go back a little bit further, they bought some other fun things in 2024, which was Affinity by Serif, which is a professional design suite. It's like what a Canva version of Adobe now. And that was a huge play for them. And they also brought Leonardo AI, which is AI image generation. It's kind of like Midjourney, but built into Canva. It's the software behind how they're doing like copy and paste on stickers and stuff. So now with all the things they've brought within Canva, you'll be able to use Magic Brief on what to make. You'll be able to use Canva to make it. You can use Calvary to animate it. You can use Mango AI to optimize it. And then you could use Dooley to distribute it to the world, which is kind of really interesting.
It is. But as an Adobe lover, it is all like, I do think I need to get around some of it because Canva does have some things that are a little bit easier and simpler than Adobe, but I still think that there is a place for that because you can't do certain things on Canva. And I just think just because you can doesn't mean you should, you know?
Yeah. I think the hard thing is if you're a small business owner, it probably makes sense to use Canva for a lot of things because the subscription and the price to enter for the Adobe suites and the required knowledge is like a big barrier. But if you are going for a one-stop shop as a small business, I think that's what Canva's trying to market for.
Oh,
which
definitely.
is really interesting.
It's way more cost effective because I think even the cost of Adobe, depending on if you've got a student discount or you've messaged them to get a reduced subscription, is around 90 Australian dollars, which is really expensive things. I think Canva is $180 for a yearly membership, around about that.
That's actually very good.
Definitely, it is. And if they're paying for all of these additional brands that they're using to make their platform better, it obviously
It makes
is
sense.
good for creators and small businesses. Yep. I just think that sometimes people might be doing, which I get it, like you can't afford it at certain levels.
Yeah.
Sometimes when there's things that are easily accessible, everyone does certain things and it becomes a trend and everyone's stuff starts looking like everyone else's stuff because it's an accessible way that people have learned to do things. So I still think there is a time and a place to have a designer for when you can afford to and when it suits your business. Yeah. But I know a lot of people use Affinity too, and I think Affinity is free.
It is for free.
Yeah, which that was huge because I think they were more of a competitor with Adobe. I don't know how Adobe, I think it's probably just got die-hard fans. Like once you've learned it, it's very difficult. Like I know there's certain things in Canva that are easy to do, but I just know how to do it so much quicker in an Adobe program. But the learning curve of the other programs, I think. Yeah.
I have some more. Glossier is shutting 9 out of their 12 stores and they're refining their products.
Yes.
So
they're like getting rid of everything.
Not everything. They're just like getting rid of lots. So if you don't know, I am a huge Glossier fan and I think Georgia is as well. But they are shutting most of their stores as it scales back its retail footprint after opening locations too quickly. That's what they said. So the move is a bit of a reset. They're going to cut costs and focus on what actually makes the brand money, which is Glossier You, which is my favorite fragrance of all times. So I'm actually quite happy about that.
I think part of what Glossier's brand thing was the experience of people going to the store, like because it started out as an online only brand and it was such an experience for people to go. I think it's kind of disappointing, but I guess it will make being able to go to a store more exciting when you can. But where is it stocked? Like in Australia, it's stocked in Mecca. We don't have Glossier stores anyway. Is it in Sephora in America?
It is in Sephora in America and it has been for a long while.
Because even when we were in America a couple of years ago, they were opening a Glossier store in Texas. And like that's a relatively new store. I have one more actually. Did you see
Do tell.
I've been seeing this in a lot of ads, is for the Sharp Cryo Glow LED mask.
Yeah.
Did you see at the Miami Open?
No.
The Miami tennis open, I think it was. They had like a booth or whatever you call up in the stands, like a whole group of girls that had the masks on.
I didn't see this.
Turning their heads to them. Oh, I keep seeing heaps of different creators promoting it at the moment, Australian like beauty influencers and stuff. And then I saw this in America, so they're obviously doing a huge push. But I thought it was smart
huge push
marketing because it's just something that you wouldn't expect to see at the tennis. I think a lot of brands is that, I know we talked about it a couple of weeks ago about like Mecca being at the Formula One or the Australian Open, like beauty brands placing themselves
leaning in
events where they're not necessarily used to, like where they wouldn't usually be.
They can lean in on an event that has relevance and go, okay, well, we're going to invite influencers that have to pay to sponsor the event, but they can sponsor people there. And they still get the brand reach related to the event, but they haven't had to do the big marketing spend of sponsoring the actual event.
Yeah. Smart, smart, smart.
Very smart.
That's all I got.
Makes perfect sense.
Is that
Common sense.
Common sense.
Common sense.
wow?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Shall we sense check something that we've been seeing everywhere online? And it's pretty topical because it is April Fool's Day. So we can go through some of our favorite / April Fool's pranks that we've seen. The first ones I saw were not actually from this year. I was going through last night a deep dive in case we didn't see any good ones. And I thought I would show you some of my favorite ones that I have seen in previous years, including the Dyson Airbrow.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's so smart.
Yeah.
So like a Dyson Airwrap, but for your little eyebrow hairs. And I also saw a McDonald's McFlurry flavored lip balm.
See, like I don't hate that idea.
And I say they should bring those out. And also a Big Mac sauce flavored lip balm, which I think is actually kind of iconic.
Oh, I don't love that one. But I think the other one I think that could go ahead.
I think that could go ahead too. And then
was it did they say that they were going to make it with a certain brand, or was it just McDonald's for that?
No, fully McDonald's branded. I do love when people do like a co-post for April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
I also saw a Cadbury one this morning of the Cadbury mini eggs, but a huge size. So the Cadbury mega egg, which I think is fun, and which is less fun. Sorry to Flight Centre, which was the sweet seat swag. So like a swag to turn, it's a collaboration with BCF to turn your seat on an airplane into a swag.
Saw that Jetstar had one today about everyone saying that they would recline their seat, so they had a recline forward.
Stop it.
The other one that I saw this morning was Frank Body did a chicken salt scrub, which as a chicken salt fan, I love that. Yeah.
I actually kind of love that. I like ones that are a little bit left of center. Like the thought of how they got there is like, I really dislike the ones that are like, oh, we remembered yesterday and we've just whipped it up. Yes. I love a little bit of thought. I saw Naked Harvest did Australian flavored products.
Yeah.
So they had a
Did you like
snag
that?
Protein powder. I kind of liked it.
It felt last minute to me.
It did feel a bit last minute, but also the flavors that they did for like the sweeter products, I think they're flavors they could genuinely do. So it's like less fun. I wish it was more Bunnings snag related. Those ones. And if it was a collab with Bunnings, I think it would have been better.
Agree. I wonder if anyone uses this when because I think what makes them quite fun is like obviously Frank Body's never going to do a chicken salt scrub. I wonder if ones like Naked Harvest do it as a bit of a marketing interest to see if people are like, oh my God, I actually would really love this if they then go ahead. Obviously not the Bunnings snag, but I think they did one for Fairy Bread.
Yeah, like they had one for like iced Vovo, like pre-workout. And I think some people would go for that, like a Fairy Bread pre-workout. I think they're kind of marketable products. But I think they wouldn't be able to get the licensing for iced Vovo, but for Fairy Bread, that's not licensed. So they could just make that.
Well, that CSB did a drive-through like activewear in LA, which I think because of the timing, it's not the first in America yet. I think a lot of people are just confused and thought it was real. So that was interesting.
I haven't really seen that many, to be honest, but I think it's because it's like just become morning in America, so we won't see them for a while.
Yeah, agree. And I think
so
the
maybe
purpose of them is, the benefit of them is a chance for brands that usually have to stick to a bit of a brand guideline, tone of voice, get a chance to do something a little bit more like fun and out there for like one day of the year. Also, another one I actually saw was Ryanair, who I think that their socials are quite funny. I think they might have done theirs a day early because I don't think it would be the first there. They're changing their tone of voice and becoming more corporate, which would be a really great shame.
Yeah, it's quite funny. But yeah, it would be early because for America, their wait like 7 a.m. or something in LA is something like 12 p.m. for me, I think, from memory, like a midnight.
Oh.
12 a.m.
Yeah.
It's something like late, so they wouldn't be awake. But we can check back in or maybe do a little dump of our favourite April Fool's Day pranks on Instagram
we should do
week.
a post of our favourite ones. Love that.
We'll collate them. We'll do some analysis.
With the special interest groups?
I like that.
Clubs for special interests.
All right, I'll put the prezzies here.
Taking a special interest in
For
me.
special interest in this case.
Do you have a special interest this week?
Yes, my special interest of the week is noise cancelling headphones.
True.
Yeah, I know you've got the Apple AirPod ones, AirPod Max, which I would love. However, they've launched new ones and I can't really
Justify.
$1,000 on earphones is just too much, I think. There's so many other things I could buy. So I got some Sony ones and they're pink and cute. And for working at home, life-changing.
Agree. Couldn't agree
Obsessed.
more. I also have the Sony ones and I have the AirPod Maxes on loan from Apple and they are really good, except they are so expensive. So when I have to give those back, I will be devastated. It will be a sad day, but my special interest of the week is the season 2 of Jury Duty. I have watched it. It's called Company Retreat. The 3 new episodes came out last night, I think.
I think they released 3 and then they've released
2.
1 weekly after that.
Okay, so yes, I've watched all 5. I watched the last 2 that are out last night. This man is too kind. I think we noticed that with the first season of Jury Duty that like they had to pick someone that was, I do not know how they cast them. I have no idea. The logistics seem like a nightmare, but I can imagine if I was put in that same situation, the first thing I would be doing would be gossiping to my new co-workers because that's what you do at work. And this guy is so kind. He's rolling with the punches. He's giving no judgment when someone's proposing
He's so wholesome.
to another co-worker. He is so wholesome. I would like to hire him.
And he was given a chance to leave if he wanted to, and he didn't.
I know. If I was given the out of that craziness, I probably would have gone. But I'm impressed that he stuck it out.
I saw someone's TikTok about she does like behind the scenes kind of things of TV shows, I think. I'm not sure of her name, but she was talking about how all of the cast, they have to also have a lunch break because even when they're eating and stuff in the show, that's working. So they have to work out a way where each of them can kind of leave and have their break where they're not working. And what a logistical nightmare that would be.
That is crazy because I wouldn't understand how to logistically do that without it being obvious. I would be freaking out. Like the whole planning of it.
Yeah, I wonder if they say it's like individual interviews or something.
Wow. Okay, well, I'll have to go watch that. So
it's a big cast.
It's a huge cast. And especially they did like a scene where they were at a bar. And I'm thinking that's so many people that you have to get to not like crack under the pressure and continue to roll with the punches even when things might not be going to script.
It's so funny. I think everyone should watch it. I saw someone on the same video comment something like, apparently there was in the first season, there was 3, was his name Ron?
Sorry?
In Jury Duty? Was the guy's name Ron in Jury Duty?
Ronald Gleason.
Ronald, yeah. Apparently they filmed it like with someone else, like 2 other people twice before, allegedly.
Wow. Yeah, because I think that there's so many scenes that they would have had to practice because so many things happen. You couldn't just like read a script and then do it. Like I think they would have to have done a few practice runs with hypothetical scenarios, which is so funny.
They're all so funny. I wonder what they will do next, like what the scene is, because they can never repeat it.
No.
But a scenario that...
I think it's a birth. It has to be a birth. I do believe that it's a birth. Or a hospital scene. Someone's getting like an operation.
But how would they come in?
I have no idea. That's for
crazy.
the producers to figure out. But in 3 years' time when it comes out, we will revisit this and we will say that we predicted madness.
Yeah. I have no idea what else it could be. So I hope your scenario...
Work wife to work wife.
Or do you have any advice?
But you know that makes you also the wiser.
You make the call. They call me.
Work wife.
Do you have any work-wife wisdom to get us through the week this week?
I think, well, this is really only for people that get an extra long weekend. If you have to work over Easter, unfortunately, this is not really helpful to you. But I think everyone should just go outside and enjoy, especially you, because you're stressed. Go outside and enjoy nature. It makes a difference. You can get inspiration from things. Just a little disconnect from devices is always a good thing, I think.
I'm going to go touch grass, I think.
Yeah, everyone touch grass this Easter. Have chocolate and touch grass.
My work-wife wisdom is a little bit left of center, and I think it's because I've been seeing a lot of cancel culture on the internet at the moment. Totally fair that some people do really bad things. Totally get that. But I think a lot of time people can dogpile, and sometimes when there's negative things about one thing, everyone can give 1,000 negative things about that person or about something that's happened. I've seen people do that to then leverage themselves. Like, this person's bad, follow me instead. And totally get that. I've always been a believer that rotten fruit falls on their own. So if someone does something bad, their karma will come to them. But my work wife wisdom for this week is blowing out someone else's candle will not make yours brighter. If you see people around you doing good, the best thing you can do to support them is be supportive. Hype them up in the comments, like their things, share it with a friend. And if you see people doing content that you don't like, you don't have to support it. But you don't have to leave them a hate comment. You don't have to be negative towards them. It doesn't affect you. And if you're negative towards them, it's not going to make you any better. And blowing out someone else's candle for how good they're doing is not going to make your candle burn brighter. So just spread a little love if you can. I think that's my work wife wisdom.
It's very insightful.
Thank you.
Loved the candle analogy too.
I love a little analogy. If you've ever met me in real life, you'll know I use an analogy for about everything, and it gets really annoying when people don't catch on. I've given a new analogy and they've not gone, that's a banger. So
The candle one I think is new. I've not heard that before.
Is
but
it?
I'm sure I'll
I think
hear
I've
it
said
a
that
lot.
before.
in the
It might have been my yearbook quote. I can't remember what my yearbook quote was, but I'm sure it would have been iconic.
I'm sure.
I'll try to whip it out for you all. Alrighty, I guess that might be everything from us this week. We're keeping it brief, okay? We've got lots on our plate this week. I can't do a long one for you. That is everything from us this week, so thank you so much for being a part of the group chat. If you enjoyed this episode, we would love if you could please give us a review, follow us wherever you're listening, on Instagram, subscribe to the newsletter, or honestly just send us a DM about something you notice happening online this week, because half the things that we talk about start as screenshots in our inbox. We will be back next week unpacking more internet chaos, marketing moments, and whatever else ends up in our screenshot folder. If none of this makes sense, well, what would we know? See you next week. Love you. Bye.